Hey guys, I'll wait a little bit till people get on. I hope all of you guys are doing good. I hope you guys are keeping safe. Hold on one second. Alrighty, I'll just start. That way you can go back and watch the video. But I wanted to come on to show you guys a little bit of tips and tricks that you guys are able to do, especially right now with everything going on. I don't want to mention exactly what, but this is good in case of any emergency things you guys can use to prepare yourself, to prepare your homes. And I just want to share what I know and what I have learned when times were hard and you have to make ends meet with everything. So here's a few things that you want to make sure you guys have. You want to make sure you guys have dry beans. I know the stores are very scarce of items right now, but if you can, get some type of protein, whether it be dry beans, because beans are a protein, or you can also use like canned anything like canned meats, any type of canned meats, Spam. You can also use dehydrated meats like jerky. You can also stretch those for meals. You can also use canned chicken, canned tuna, things of that sort to stretch your meals. Because what you want to be able to do, especially if you have a family, you want to be able to take your meals and stretch them. Because during times when food is scarce or you can't get to the store, you're going to have to utilize what you have in your pantry or what you have in your kitchen. So another good item to have is also dry grains, rices, grains, quinoa. Quinoa is also good to have. Any kind of dried grains, those are also good to also bulk your meals up. If you guys have any dry pastas, those are good to stretch meals as well. You could take your pastas and add your dried, not your dried, but well, if you have dried, how do I say this? Dried, any type of like dehydrated meat, you can also add that in. You can also add canned meats in with your grains to stretch meals. Because that's the whole thing, is you want to make sure you're feeding your family and stretching your meals. Because if you have dried grains and if you have some type of protein, whether it be beans, meats, canned meats, things of that sort, you can bulk up a meal. You can also add frozen vegetables to your meal to also stretch them, to bulk them up for larger families. You want to take your vegetables, your grains, and your proteins. So these are good to have in the pantry. Something that I found that it was scarce to find is milk, dried milk. Now it's in the this was in one of the Mexican aisles, but dried milk is also good because You can just prepare it, any type of dried milk, and make meals with that as well. Stretch out your meals with dried milk. Any type of dried milk. Now, right now, out there, it was crazy. My husband had a very hard time finding anything on the shelves. And what we did find, you take and you make things stretch with that. So you want to make sure you take your meals and it stretches, because you never know. I mean, I'm not saying this will happen if a store closes, but what if a store closes? What are you going to do for your family? You have to make sure you also have the knowledge that God gives you to prepare for things like that. So, I'm sharing a little bit of what I know. I'm not saying I'm very knowledgeable, but what I'm saying is also use the wisdom. So here's another thing. I have a funny story with this, you guys. My mom, there was 5 kids in the household. And when we ran out of milk, or when we were scarce of milk, guess what? My mom had to make sure we were taken care of, and she always did so. So sometimes, if you guys have or are able to get powdered creamer, you guys can also use this as a milk product and stretch it. You can make oatmeal with putting some of this in there. My mom used to give us cereal and added water to it to make milk for us. So where there's a will, there's a way, you guys. You gotta do what you can for your family. Let's see here. Another item I recommend having on hand is flour. Flour is very important for me because you're able to make everything with flour. You can make tortillas. You can make bread. Because what if you do go to the store and there is no more bread? Bread feeds your family. Bread can feed your family. It can be a meal to make your meal even stretch even more. So let's all use wisdom and get these things to try to help out and just stretch meals. These are just ideas that I'm putting out there for you guys, and I hope that it helps you guys. But also you can take flour, regular flour, and you can make your own pancake batter. Cookie dough. I'm not saying, hey, when times are short, you're going to have cookies. But if you want to have a little treat, you can make cakes, cookies, things. Flour is very essential for everything. Thickening, making like gravies with it. So if you have flour, that's a good buy. But like I said, you can make pancake batter. And with that being said, if you have some type of powdered milk, you can make your own pancake batter. Excuse me. You don't necessarily need eggs to make a pancake batter. Excuse me. I'm getting the hiccups. When you have, if even you guys are scarce of eggs, you guys could still make pancake batters. You want to make sure you have like a rising agent, which is like baking powder or baking soda. I highly recommend having baking soda on hand at all times because it's also a cleanser for everything. You can clean with that with vinegar. Vinegar is another staple essential I would recommend having. Vinegar, baking soda, because you can use all that stuff when you need to. And another good thing to have is honey. I have this raw honey. It's good as a sweetener or syrup or anything that you're able to use for it. Just 1 second. That way I can get some more light in here. But oils, you can also have oils on hand, whatever oils you have. Another good staple I recommend having is cornmeal. Cornmeal is good for also making like a breakfast. You can put it in a pan, even with just some water, or if you don't have milk, or if you do have milk, you can also add it and make you a meal out of it, a breakfast meal. Another thing is good to have is also any of these items that you have, you can bulk up and make meals out of it. Let me see and bring you guys over here. I'm going to show you other stuff. Good staples to have is any kind of canned, like tomato paste, purees, canned meats. These are good to have, and these are good also to add to stretch meals. Like I said before, you can make pasta meals out of it, pastas with some type of protein. It doesn't necessarily have to be a protein like meats. It can be a protein like beans. Lentils is also a good protein. Also good when you add vegetables in there. Another meal you can bulk. You can either add rice to it. You can either add homemade bread that you make to it, homemade cornbread with it, just different things. You can mix and match. And you can add any type of frozen vegetables. I like keeping a lot of frozen vegetables in my freezer because that's something that you can add to any meal. It's easy, it doesn't go bad quickly. And I like having that stuff and using that versus the canned vegetables, because a lot of the canned vegetables has a lot of sodium in it. So I rather have frozen vegetables. They keep all its nutrients, and they're frozen at the peak of their nutrients. So that's another good staple to have. Also, another good staple to have is frozen fruits. They last a while too. You can add them to also bulk up your meals. You can add them to breakfasts. You can add them in pancakes. You can add them in all kinds of things. So you guys, you got to utilize what you have. Use what you have, because right now, like I was telling you, the stores are pretty wiped out. And I don't know, if things are going to get better, or I don't know if they're going to get worse. You just got to be prepared. Especially, you guys, if you have families. Because you want to be able, I know me as a mother wants to be able to take care of her family by feeding her family. So if you have a family and you're in charge of taking care of your family, I would highly recommend getting things on board, having things, because you never know. You may wake up one day and there may be, you know, items, or you may wake up one day and they may not have items. So that's why I said, just if you're able to get certain items like this, I would recommend it. I don't know how accessible they're going to be, especially right now, but take care of your families, take care of the whole situation out there, because in the end, you know, you guys are the ones that have, you know, yourself. This is what I was talking about. Baking soda. I have a few huge boxes of this. I like always just having them on hand. Like I said, if you don't have eggs, because I know too, my husband went to the store and all the eggs were wiped out. He didn't just go to one store. He went to quite a few stores. But the eggs were wiped out. But baking soda is so good to have, because it is a rising agent for certain things and meals. If you don't have eggs, you can add baking soda and vinegar together and it'll give you that rise. I know, because a lot of the times when I was vegan for about 6 months and I didn't use eggs in my items. So I know that baking soda and vinegar will give it a good rise. You can also use flaxseed if you don't have flaxseed in water, but you know, a lot of people don't have flaxseed, don't have, you know, certain things. And you can also make things from scratch, because it is essential that during these times that you are gonna have to make things from scratch, because like I said, I don't know how accessible they're gonna be. So I want to do a few videos with just, I think either tomorrow I might do a video on how to make homemade French bread. Let me know down in the comment section, or let me know if you're interested in learning how to do that. Anyways, so that was some of the stuff that I wanted to advise for you. Some of the stuff that I've learned over the years, because times are getting scarce on food items. So utilize what you have. If you guys have certain, say you have a can of soup, and you guys have, hold on one second. So say you guys have a can of soup and a box of macaroni, and you have 6 people you gotta feed. Guess what? You can take this box of macaroni, cook it, and having the soup and adding it to the macaroni, and you have a meal. And also you can add the frozen vegetables, and say you guys have frozen vegetables, or you have just canned vegetables, you're able to add all of this stuff in and make a one-pot meal. Plus you're gonna have your nutrients and you're gonna have all your stuff in there. So utilize, you guys have to utilize what you have. I'm just giving you guys some examples of what you can do with your items and stuff like that. So I want to make sure you guys are taken care of as well, and that you take care of your families. So don't forget to use your knowledge and do what's right. Do what's safe for your family. And always, always try to just use what you have. I know not everybody's able to get certain items, but you can use all the items that you have to stretch meals. If you have fruits, you can add them in to oats and just add all of that together and just have it on hand. So in that case, if you guys don't have any questions, okay, some of the Chris. So anyways, as I was saying, if you have items, make sure you have stuff on hand. Make sure you have some type of items that you're able to cook for your family. Chris, can you be a moderator for my thing, please?
What?
Because I'm having inappropriate comments popping up. I'm having inappropriate comments.
What is it?
Hi, Elena. This one. Just, yeah. Just do it on your phone. I'll be a moderator. So, Elena, I was talking about if you want to go back, I gave different things and different, just different stuff that we can use to just be cautious of taking care of our family. And I have a lot of good staples. Oh, thank you. Yeah, don't forget to share it too, because, you know, these are important. These are some of the things that I've learned even when I was little. And my mom, she had to utilize things. I've done it as well, because when it was always like my husband working and I was at home. That's something that I chose, to stay home with my kids. But financially, we only had one income. So it wasn't feasible always to get certain things. Yes, definitely. And you got to take care of your families. That's why I wanted to share this, because I really felt that it was important to share something like this, because if I'm not sharing it, or if I'm not helping others with stuff that I know, I mean, what good is it? I mean, we got to help each other, because God created us to help one another and just give knowledge of what we know to others. But a lot of it was when, you know, I grew up, there was 5 of us. So my mom had to make things stretch. Yes, especially now, stock up on staple items. My mom had to make things stretch, so I learned when I stayed at home, you know, how to stretch items as well. Oh, another good item to have also is maseca. It's a dried corn. It's like a corn flour, but you can make different items with this as well. You can make your own tortillas. You can make your own, like just taquitos, tamales. You can make different stuff with this maseca. So this is another good item to have. But these are stuff that I wanted to give you guys, just tips on it. But if you didn't catch my video from the beginning, I shared items and what you can make. Yes, always make sure to have some of that. But I also gave different items that I have that I'm sharing what you can do with them in the beginning of this video. I hope you guys go back and watch this, because I feel like this is important stuff to have. It's important to know. And like I said, I want to do like a making bread. Yes, and even, see, that's what I'm saying, Elena. When things are low, a mom learns how to make things and make things stretch. And that's what I was sharing in the beginning. Like different things. Thank you so much. And different things to make sure that we take care of our families, because we just never know if we're going to be able to go to the store again, you know, without having so many items gone. Because my husband went and the stores were like chaos already, and a lot of things were gone. A lot of, like, even the eggs, there was no eggs, there was hardly anything on the shelves. So these are things that I shared that I recommend having on hand, because I want to also do a segment on showing you guys how to do like homemade pancake batter, homemade, you know, breads, because it's not going to be accessible. Have a good day. Thank you so much. It's not going to be accessible so much. You know, what if we do go to the store and they don't have the box of pancake mix or the box of, but if you do have flour and if you do have stuff like that, you can make your own pancake mix. So I just wanted to share this with you guys. If you caught it towards the end of the video, please go back, rewind it, share this video with others, because I think it's important to share with others as what you can do on tips for emergencies. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Like I said, join me again. I'm probably going to do another live on how to make French bread. I'll be seeing you guys soon. Have a wonderful, blessed day, and don't forget to be safe, you guys out there. Always remember to be kind and share with others. Bye. Talk to you guys later.